Good morning, good afternoon. A journey that never ends. In the context of future of work, this session will explore what is future of work, what is future readiness, and how does it work and why is it important? How do leaders become future ready? How do leaders prepare teams that are future ready? What's the impact on talent retention and attraction for the future? And how do we foster the core of future readiness, which is continuous learning? With me, I have the honor to introduce Dr. Selina Neri, who is the co-founder of the Institute for Future Readiness. Welcome and thank you for accepting my invitation.
My pleasure, Doctor, my pleasure.
We're talking about future readiness, and obviously you have co-founded the Institute of Future Readiness. Can you tell us what is future readiness and how does it work?
And why it is important.
Of course.
Future readiness is a new field of research, but it is also a new priority in the world of business. We define it as a set of competencies, experiences, preferences, and drivers that are applied to the areas that are priority for the future. Now, in every country and in every industry, priorities might change, but there are a core that we all share. One is human development. The second one is technology and becoming and remaining literate and mastering technology. The third one is the environment, so ensuring that we have solutions that are sustainable and game-changing for the environment. And the last but not least is entrepreneurship, which means the ability to build from an idea to a business, not only as an entrepreneur, but also within corporations, being spearheading new ideas and new projects. So when we look at future readiness in this way, then we also understand why we talk about the future of work within the context of lifelong learning. And therefore, what is shifting today in the world is the fact that all of us, regardless of which generation we belong to, need to be mindful and alerted on the fact that we have to remain relevant, because the skill set that we might have learned or practiced so far will be changing, and we want to be to remain relevant within the future of work. Now, this, of course, and you are the expert on this, also means a different role of leadership and a different appreciation of what leaders need to do.
Yes, I totally agree. And I'd like to build on the relevancy, because leaders and organizations have to stay relevant, but also have to be adaptable.
Yes.
Adaptability, if you look back to the World Economic Forum, the future of work, the top 10 skills, adaptability comes between 1 to 3, right? So adaptability is a key trait for any leader to survive in this VUCA world and be ready for the future. But we look at 3 elements of adaptability. We look at grit, resilience, and the willingness to unlearn to learn, right? So each has a different dynamics, but let's not go into details of these 3 explanations or the 3 behaviors, but they have a crucial role in building future-ready teams. What do you think of the nature or the complexity of that team that we're trying to build for the future?
So future-ready teams are organisms, I call them, are living organisms that are like a muscle, have the interest and ability and grit, as you said, to constantly question themselves, and therefore look at what is needed in whatever the team mission is, to be able to sustain and change the game, not only deliver results. That's very important. Now, teams clearly need leaders, but first of all, we have to understand that to be and remain future ready, we also need to understand not only the skills, the experiences, the character and personality of people on the team, but also how these people make an impact. And therefore, what is it that drives me and what is my natural inclination to make an impact in whatever it is I'm doing? Because as you know, we are moving also into a world where job descriptions and roles will be more fluid. And I always say at the Institute, we need to build generations of people, whether it's my age, I am a Gen X, or Gen Z, generations of problem solvers, of people and teams that can juggle and struggle and find solutions to whatever it is they are missions with. And therefore, again, I need to have leaders who embrace this way of looking at themselves, this way of questioning ourselves on a daily basis, and have the interest to keep on learning. Because if they are not interested, there's no point in pushing people. So we have to nurture this interest.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't agree more. If I reflect on what you said, you sum it up with the 9-to-5 job is gone.
Yes.
Really. And if you bring up, the complexity of the teams that we have with the multi-generation, multicultural, we value flexibility over structure. We value interaction, collaboration over rigid disciplines. So we're looking at this from a different angle today. If we nurture and provide a portfolio career for these generations, I think we can retain them and attract them to this future-ready world.
Absolutely, and it's very important, Doctor, what you said, because we know that flexibility is relevant and important across generations. People who have 30 years in the business want flexibility, but also the 19, 20, 25 years old want flexibility. And the only way to live with flexibility is to embrace a way of work and a way of life that, number one, keeps me always in the learning game and allows me to do different things that might not be connected with one another, or might be. That is I think, a combination of a personal and a professional choice. However, I also think there is many people are worried or scared about this type of life and this type of setup professionally. Because although I always say we all want to be diamonds, but not everybody is willing to get cut. If I want to be a polished diamond, I have to go through life and take the cuts that come with it. I studied ancient history in my early life, and there's one philosopher from ancient Rome who said, obstacles do not block the path, they are the path. And when in my life I understood this, it became very clear that my game is learning, and I never will stop. And whatever is on the path, whether it is a project, building a business, or finding happiness in personal life or my own health, it is this adaptability that will allow me to deal with the obstacles and also enjoy the rewards of this type of journeys.
Perfect, perfect. So how do we conclude? What sort of advice we give to the people that are listening, the leaders, the managers, the head of organizations, whether it's public or private? What sort of advice we give them? How do we get ready for the future?
So I would share advice that I give to myself every day because I practice what I preach. So first of all, let's agree that all of us are problem solvers. Whether I am a doctor of medicine, a nurse, a business executive, or a student, or an architect, we are all solving problems. This is the core skill that we have to nurture. Let's also remember that it is important to become aware that the world around us is changing really fast, and unless I am willing and have an intention to keep up with this world, I can sit back and relax with whatever the core competencies that I have, the education that I had. So the message is being future ready and remaining future ready isn't a one-off exercise. It isn't about one training, one course, or one intervention. It's a learning journey. As long as there is life, there is learning. We are never done. We are never done. And this is important because it's the element that connects across generations. So it's not about age, it's not about seniority. It's about ensuring that we all remain talented, enjoy the ride, so we are doing what we are energized to do, And as leaders, that we really build teams and organizations where learning and the aim of remaining future ready is the cornerstone, and therefore work with experts who can help us in this adventure.
Great. And we will help with the Center of Adaptability Leadership. It's all about the think tank. It's all about, equipping leaders how to adapt for the future. Whether you have a reading material, whether you take a course, whether you take a little of advice or coaching, how do we become adaptable to embrace the change and become future ready? What a beautiful conclusion to the topic that we have started with, the journey that never ends.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure, Doctor, my pleasure.